increase in this charming little communist country where, out of 4 million inhabitants, 3,975,000 are atheists, and 24,000 are agnostic, and the other 1,000 are Jewish. My point is, I don't have a big following. This is the United States Embassy of this country. 6 years ago, I ran here seeking asylum from the communist police. Outside these walls were 4 million communists determined to kill me. My choice was simple. I could either stay here in the safety of your embassy, or I could go outside and attempt the biggest mass conversion in history. I decided to stay, and I've been hiding upstairs ever since. The head of this embassy is Ambassador James F. McGee. He was put in charge here by your government for his firm grasp on world events. Each day for the past 4 years, he enters this room, surveys the environment, and graces us with its clarity and wisdom.
Jesus, look at all those communists.
This is typical of his ability to sum up a situation brilliantly. Miss Kilroy is Ambassador McGee's bright-eyed, efficient assistant.
I am the only woman in the Foreign Service who knows the words to the second stanza of the Star-Spangled Banner.
All of his vital memos go through Miss Kilroy.
Miss Kilroy, take a vital memo. To all embassy personnel, until a new embassy building is purchased, we must find ways to make room in this small mansion. It was unfortunate that last week, when the Secretary of State passed through, we were unable to put him up for the night. It was equally unfortunate that no one here recognized him. See, this does not happen again.
And this is Ambassador McGee's other assistant. Not exactly bright-eyed, not exactly efficient. In fact, the only man in the history of the Foreign Service to accidentally wrap his lunch in a peace treaty.
I've worked in 17 U.S. embassies, some for as long as 3 weeks.
This young man has worked at this embassy for 6 months. That's the longest he's ever worked at any one embassy. Why? Because he's eager, he's pleasant, and he's the ambassador's son.
You sent for me, Dad?
And here is where it all starts. I just have to get back to my room.
Axel, due to my superior record here, the leaders of my party would like to discuss the possibility of placing my name in the upcoming gubernatorial race in our state.
Dad, I think you'd make a wonderful governor. Your broad outlook would appeal to psychotic liberals as well as militant fascists. Something for everyone.
Naturally, in my absence, this embassy must be run with the same brilliant efficiency it is accustomed to when I am here.
This is a quiet little outpost. There should be no trouble.
I'll level with you, Axel. I'm tempted to leave Miss Kilroy in charge, but it looks bad for the family image.
Dad, the Foreign Service is my whole life. Give me a chance to prove myself once and for all. What could go wrong in 2 weeks?
You were in Brazil for 2 weeks, and you had them importing coffee.
Dad, I know how much this governorship means to you, and I'll see that this embassy remains a credit to your record.
The only important guests we're having in the next 2 weeks is the Sultan of Bashir.
I'll see that the Sultan gets royal treatment.
Oh, you sure will, Axel. I'm on the verge of concluding an important oil deal with the Sultan that will make me a very big man next November. Axel, most fathers start their son in the mailroom and let them work their way up top. I started you on top, and you worked your way to the mailroom. This embassy is a clean start for you, and if it's not run letter perfect, I'll fire you. And if your own father fires you, it's the end of the line. Goodbye.
Have a nice flight, Dad. Miss Kilroy!
You call?
For the next 2 weeks, I'm in charge of this embassy. Business will go on as usual, and it would mean a great deal to me to have your full cooperation.
Your father should have known better than to leave in charge a man who was asked to leave Africa.
That's not fair. Some of the best men in the Foreign Service have at one time or another been recalled from a country.
Africa is a continent. You've been recalled from an entire continent. And what about Japan? You never mentioned that. Or the Soviet Union? You managed to cover that up, too.
You know I've had some bad breaks career-wise.
And you were hung in effigy in Panama.
I admitted I was.
Yes, but you didn't say it was by our own embassy.
Hello? Yes, this is the American Embassy. Oh, no, Ambassador McGee's not here. He's on his way back to the United States. This is Axel McGee. I'm in charge during his absence. What the hell was that all about?
It's the communist police. They're chasing after 3 people. They look like tourists. Mr. McGee, they're running up the steps to the embassy.
We better open the front doors quickly.
Help for American tourists! The communists are after us! Thinking we're spies!
We're Americans, I swear! Willie Mays, Hershey Moss, Kate Smith! I pledge allegiance to the flag!
Until the republic for which it stands! It's the communist police!
Some vacation, run!
Where are they? Hand them over to us.
Who? What? What did they do?
They were caught in the act of spying.
How?
They were taking pictures in a restricted area.
That doesn't make them spies. They're American tourists. Didn't you see the shirt that guy was wearing? What were they taking pictures of?
Missile sites and rocket installations. They have seen too much. They must die.
Mr. McGee, they're setting up machine guns and searchlights around the embassy.
I'm sure they didn't realize. Look, I'll give you the film. In fact, I'll give you the whole camera.
Hand them over to us or we will drag them out and shoot them.
This embassy is United States territory, and nobody can get dragged out of here and shot without the written consent of the American government.
Leave these premises at once. Your behavior is an extreme violation of international conduct.
Who are you?
I'm Axel McGee. I'm in charge of this embassy in my father's absence, and I order you to leave at once. Guns or no guns, if you don't go, Miss Kilroy will throw you out.
Whoa! Mr. McGee! Something is happening!
Yes, Tommy, I know.
The soldiers are running the house! They're staring right into the kitchen!
They won't hurt you.
I can't cook if I'm being stared at. That's kind of person.
Who are you?
I am the personal chef to the Ambassador McGee. Formerly chef to the King of Norway. Formerly chef to the White House. Formerly chef to the Queen of England. Before that, I degraded cooking.
Don't you terrorize our help.
I had the king in the oven! What just doing that? I'm telling you, you guys just made a fall! Mr. McGee, stand firm. I'll lodge formal protest.
No, you stand firm. I'll lodge. Look, you spy on us, we spy on you. Everybody knows it. Why do we pretend like it's so unusual?
You do spy on us?
Huh?
How often?
All the time. It's no secret. Espionage goes on between our countries every day. Why be so hypocritical about it?
It does, huh? And are they spies?
No. Maybe. I don't know.
You sure you never saw them before?
Are you going to tell me that your country doesn't send spies into the United States posing as tourists?
Then you admit they're spies.
What if they are? That doesn't give you the right to enter this building illegally. You're going to start an international incident. This isn't just an outrage, but a vicious and cruel attack on the whole free world. I wouldn't be surprised if France took our side.
Mr. Krojak, I have your Foreign Affairs office on the phone. They want you to report back immediately.
He admitted they are spies.
You didn't, Mr. McGee.
Well,
He admitted it. I have it all here. On tape.
I did, in a sense. Miss Kilroy, we spy, they spy.
We do nothing of the sort.
Actually, we do. We all stop being hypocritical, to be honest for once.
That's enough, Mr. McGee.
We do spy.
Will you speak louder, please?
No, don't twist my words. You come barging in here with guns and you wonder why a brutal dictatorship gets a bad name?
The embassy will be surrounded from this day forth. The spies will either come out or they will spend the rest of their lives in here. But first, the world will hear this confession.
How can you do it? How can you admit they were spies?
I panicked. I lost control.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking, don't panic. Don't lose control.
You!
Oh,
Yeah, you, with the best. How could you tell them we're spies?
Walter, be careful. He's always eavesdropping.
How could you tell them we're spies? They say we're spies. He says yes. All of a sudden, I'm a spy. I'll go on, what's my line? And they'll never guess.
Where's my daughter? I'll get her. Miss Burns, bring the girl up from the basement.
yes, Miss Burns, bring up the girl from the basement.
What are you, her echo?
Walter, be quiet.
Those lunatics out there accuse us of spying, and this lunatic says yes.
If you were listening to the conversation, you should know I was trying to calm them down.
First no movie on the plane, then this.
It's a simple misunderstanding.
How simple?
If we leave the building, they kill us. Simple enough.
Don't jump to conclusions. There be a trial first.
Who is this guy?
I better call your father. Maybe I can stop him at here.
There's no need for that. I can handle a crisis.
Handle one. You are one.
A man takes his family on vacation. He wants to show him a good time. This is what we have working in our government, and they wonder why I don't vote.
I've got to make out a report.
Well, that's what you get for taking photographs.
It's my vacation. My new hobby's photography. You think I'm interested in them missiles and rockets? All I wanted to do was take some pictures.
I wonder if your photos are valuable.
He held the camera backwards. They're all pictures of his nose.
I have to get my head examined. Every time I listen to you, I wind up behind the 8 ball.
Here we go again.
I said let's take a cabana on Atlantic Beach.
Why, every year it must be Atlantic Beach. What's the matter? They need you to work the tide?
No, you said go to Europe. $3,500 for 3 weeks of uninterrupted diarrhea.
What's so terrible? My brother suggested we go see Europe. He had a wonderful time here.
I'm sick of living for your brother. I've run my life by her brother. That's a hard one.
I realize you're upset. If I could just get some facts.
Mr. and Mrs. Walter Hollander, Newark, New Jersey.
You want to know the facts? The facts are, I have a 3-week vacation. I say, let's take a cabana on Atlantic Beach. There's sun. You can play pinochle. There's miniature golf. No. Her brother says, go to Europe. And behind the Iron Curtain, no less. I need this like a growth.
Aren't you interested in how the other half lives? We went with you to the Folies Bergère in Paris.
Are you comparing communism to those girls?
As if he appreciates Europe any place. We took him to Westminster Abbey. His feet hurt. We took him to St. Peter's in Rome. He got dizzy from looking up. We took him to the Louvre. I hate to tell you what happened at the Louvre.
It's pronounced Louvre. Louvre. That's how much you know.
At the Louvre, he struck a match across a Van Gogh. I thought I'd die.
Have either of you two ever had any respiratory ailments? Oh, wrong forms.
I have a brother, see, he's a wonderful man.
He's a Nazi.
Do you know what you're talking about?
Take my word for it. He should be wearing an armband.
Here we are, seeking asylum.
I'm not seeking asylum. I didn't do anything. I'm a caterer from New Jersey.
I'll need your passports, and I have to get some information.
I'm giving you information. It began with my brother. Quite a lovely individual.
They should have hung him at Nuremberg.
Have either of you two ever bought anything on credit?
Oh, jeez.
My brother went to Europe last year. He had a wonderful time. He suggested we bring my daughter. It's cultural. My brother is an intellectual.
Some intellectual, like Sonny Liston.
And you're just a caterer? I mean, nobody paid you to take pictures of anything or anything like that?
Hollander and Blackwell. Finest in Newark. He's my card.
Do you work, Mrs. Hollander?
No, sir, I'm an average housewife.
Some average housewife. She's a professional mahjong hustler. She carries around her own tiles and everything.
And you accidentally wandered into a restricted area. I mean, you didn't sneak in or anything?
I told him it looked like private property, but no. He had to get a photograph. He said, why? Because there's gods and dogs and barbed wire. And I said, yes, because there's gods and dogs and barbed wire. What did you think it was? A place that sold gods and dogs and barbed wire?
And then they chased you and you had the good sense to come here?
My daughter had the presence of mind.
She did the right thing, Mrs. Hollander.
Sure. So you can tell them we're spies. My wife should not have to go through this. She is not a young woman.
On the one hand, we want to protect you. On the other hand, we want to protect the best interest of the United States.
I always thought they went hand in hand.
I'm an old woman.
I didn't mean old. I meant young old.
There's nothing to worry about.
Sure, because I'm a caterer, not a spy. Creative catering, our specialty. We were the first to make bridegrooms out of potato salad.
He does lovely work, I'll say that for him.
Last month we did a wedding reception. We did the bride's body out of Jell-O, her head out of a very nice clam dip, and with fruit punch spouting out of her throat. It was a class affair.
I should have this settled within a few days.
A few days? What do you think I'm gonna do, live here?
It may take some effort, but we're going to show these communists that their police state tactics don't work. I'll have Miss Kilroy see if we have some spare cots.
Cots? I will not sleep on a cot. I'm a dignified human being with a hernia.
Mr. Hollander, it's an emergency, and we'll try our best.
I got a business. Sam Blackwell can't run the firm by himself. He's the inside man. I'm the outside man. It requires personality.
Mr. Hollander, was there some kind of notebook in your suitcase back at the hotel with some kind of party list in it?
No. Yes. The Levine wedding estimates.
What is that?
The Levine wedding. How many from the bride's side? How many from the groom's side? How much roast beef? How much grapefruit?
The communist police say they've been working
working on it and that they've broken the code.
What code?
Supply information and troop movements.
True movements? It's the Levines and the Wasamans. There's more Levines because she's paying for the wedding, and they eat like an army. But they're civilians.
It's that damn Kojak trying to frame you.
I can't stay here. It's the height of the season. I got weddings coming up. I got receptions. I got coming out parties. Sam Blackwell can't run the firm by himself.
So we'll have his son come in and help out. He's over 21.
His son? Who's gonna dress him?
Your business can manage for a few days.
You think so? Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to America. Where's my hat?
Mr. McGee, what do you think's gonna happen?
Let them capture me. I'm a caterer.
This is preposterous.
They want information. I'll show them how to make grapefruit sections.
Mr. Hollander, you can't go out there.
No, let him go. Go ahead, Big Show. Go be in here if you want us. There's the front door. Go ahead.
Now look,
Don't think I won't.
Go ahead. Stop talking already and do it.
Mrs. Hollander, don't start trouble.
You think I'm afraid of those guys?
No, why should you be afraid? They're only secret police. They'll just arrest and torture you. What's to be afraid of?
You think I'm afraid to go out there?
No, go ahead, go. Get brainwashed. In your case, it'll probably help.
I strongly urge you not to do anything rash.
Let him go. Go ahead, go.
You wouldn't have to know if any of those guys belong to the Masons.
Mr. McGee, this is my daughter Susan. She was a cesarean. How do you do, Mr. McGee?
Axel! McGee!
Are you free to go home yet?
Sure.
Oh?
We're free to go home. Do you see what's doing out there next to this guy? We're liable to be stuck here for 3-4 days.
I'm awfully sorry about the inconvenience. I realize it's terrible.
I think it's fun.
It can be fun. Some might look upon this as an exciting experience.
Some people bought Edsels.
We could be worse off. This place is lovely.
And what are we supposed to do about Seth?
Seth? Oh my God!
Forgive my wife. In her panic, she's completely forgotten that she gave birth twice.
I wasn't even worried about Seth. He's at camp.
Camp ends tomorrow. What's going to happen if we're not there to let him in? He'll live on the streets. He'll run amok. He'll rape and loot. You know what, son? He takes after your brother.
I just thought of something. Susan's getting married next week.
That's right. I have a deposit on the hall.
Getting married, huh? I guess you're pretty anxious to get out of here.
That's a long story, Mr. McGee.
Let's not discuss it. The date's been set.
Well, you may have to push the date back. You better call the owner of the Renaissance Luau and get our deposit back.
And you better call Donald. He'll be worried sick.
I'll call. Mr. McGee, what's the longest anyone has ever had to stay here?
We've been giving asylum to a priest who's been living upstairs for, a while.
What's a while?
Oh, you know, just, a while.
How long?
6 years.
6 years? I said let's go to Atlantic Beach. We'll swim, we'll play pinochle. No, her brother says go to Europe. May he rest in peace.
He's not dead.
He should be.
What whole picture?
It's all over the American press. This morning, the FBI caught this country's top secret agent, Adolf Loper. The Gray Fox.
The Gray Fox.
One of their most brilliant spies. They caught him posing as a student at Berkeley. Apparently, the Reds went after the first American tourist they could find in retaliation.
Now I suppose they want to trade spies. Adolf Holbert for the Hollanders.
Washington will hear of it. They're outraged.
I wonder if that's the way it's going to be from now on. Every time we arrest one of their spies, they arrest one of our caterers.
I'd better go help the chef. Mr. Hollander's driving him crazy. He hates European food.
Mr. McGee, are you aware that the Sultan of Bashir is due here Friday? I suggest we postpone it for a more auspicious moment.
Nonsense, Miss Kilroy. I should have this cleared up by Friday.
And if you don't?
If I don't, business will go on as usual. I'm running this embassy.
Mr. McGee, may I please speak with you?
Certainly. Miss Kilroy, please. I'm awfully sorry for your accommodations, but we are jammed, and it is temporary.
Mr. McGee, I hope you're not upset by my parents.
Upset?
They're really sweet people. They just have their own way of expressing themselves. Don't let their form of communication throw you.
Listen, I have 2 parents. I had 2 parents. My mother's in court trying to disown me.
Miss Kilroy told us that your father is Ambassador McGee.
Did she also tell you if I don't make it here, I'm finished?
Axel, it's not that bad. Everybody makes mistakes. Every time I pick up the papers, I read about another diplomatic crisis cropping up somewhere in the world.
Have you noticed my name is in every article?
Funny. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm beginning to like it here.
Gee, that's awfully sweet of you to take that attitude. I really appreciate it.
I mean it. It's very exciting and romantic. Some people spend their entire lives without anything like this happening to them.
So your father keeps telling you.
Danger stimulates me. Do you know how many babies were born in England in World War II as a result of the Blitz?
Well, if it's danger you want, take a look out there. Must be 24 professional killers.
It's hard to see much.
Here, just a second.
Look at them all out there. They've got machine guns. Are you married, Mr. McGee?
The one thing about my work, you don't usually get to meet any attractive American women.
Well, do you have a girlfriend or someone back home?
Actually, my work causes me to travel a lot. So, what do you do? Are you a model or an actress or something?
No, I danced in New York City Center Ballet, and I was a folk singer, and I worked in a coffee house in Greenwich Village.
Waitress?
No, I repair motorcycles. My big interest right now is painting.
No kidding. I paint. You'd hate my work, though. It's all very abstract. I stand back, and I splash oil all over everything. And then I run all over it in my sneakers, and I stick my lunch in it. In fact, my lunch came in second at a showing in Cape Cod.
I adore abstract art.
Really? I'm a big Jackson Pollock fan. His drippings best express my mental state. After dinner, if you're interested, I'll show you a little statue I made out of an old bedpan and some automobile parts.
I love it.
You know, you're really very pretty.
Thank you. Excuse me, Mr. McGee, but I must know, what is this teacher for dinner?
What's the problem?
It's him,
Who?
Mr. Hollinger. Be nice to him. I'll see you at dinner. Every dish I name, he says no!
Does he have any suggestions?
Mr. McGee, we are 4,000 miles away from the United States. This is a communist country. It's 8 o'clock at night. Where do you expect me to necessarily coffee cake?
What kind of place is this?
Oysters!
I will not eat oysters. Oysters are alive when you eat them. I want my food dead. Not sick, not wounded, dead.
Mr. McGee, try very nice piece of beef.
You must be joking.
What's wrong with the beef? My recipe is one of the great secrets of European cooking.
Really? Let's keep it that way.
Mr. McGee, I have very little. If I had known I couldn't get to the market, there were soldiers outside.
Mr. Hollander, try and understand. Our menu here is particularly elaborate because we entertain guests from all over the world.
All I want is a plain piece of boiled chicken.
Walter, where'd you go off to?
You know I can't get a meal around here.
Don't worry, I'll come in the kitchen and make you something.
Good.
Madam, how do you live with this man? Do you force feed him?
Don't worry, I know what he likes.
I warn you, madam, no one has ever been in my kitchen before. If you do anything to spoil the order of my spice rack, I don't know what I'll do. Do you hear me? I don't know what I'll do! Stupid chicken!
It's good to know our food is being cooked by an outpatient.
I spoke to Bonnie Silverman on the phone.
Did you tell him not to take the station wagon to Newark Airport because we might be 6 years late?
Mrs. Hollander, I wanted to speak to you about the phone. Naturally, you're free to use it. If you could limit your calls to a few dozen.
This is nothing for her. She has to alert everyone in Newark, individually, like Paul Revere.
I called the Kleins and they'll take care of Seth till we get back.
You couldn't find a worse family?
What's wrong with the Kleins?
They have orgies.
How do you know?
I catered one.
Walter! Mom! Dad! Look who I found!
Father Drobny, what brings you down here?
I heard so much commotion today, and I met this young lady in the hall upstairs.
These are the Hollanders. They came here today in much the same way you did 6 years ago.
Are you refugees?
Refugees? Do you know what I paid for this shirt?
We were at the Vatican. We saw your boss. If it's for me, I'm free to talk.
Hello? Yes. I better take this inside. Excuse me a moment.
Father Drobny's got a tiny little room on the top floor, and he practically never leaves it.
Don't you go crazy?
I am a guest here through the courtesy of your government, and I do not wish to make myself a nuisance.
Can't you ever leave here?
Only if there is some drastic change in the national policy. I have many friends who could help me to escape, but my duty is to one day return and lead my people once again.
So, until you lead your people, you stay in your bedroom?
In recent years, I have developed a hobby, and so it passes the lonely moments.
Well, what do you do?
Father Dropney's a magician.
I've been practicing for years. Years.
That's a wonderful hobby.
Pick a card. Go ahead. Pick a card. I'm not forcing.
Come on, Dad.
Walter, don't be rude.
It's all I needed.
Go on, pick a card. Jack of spades.
Wrong. 5 of diamonds.
Damn it! Sorry.
Interesting things up there. Don't you bother.
Oh, doves! I have white doves. I raise them. I'll transform them before your eyes.
Why don't you go get some of your things? We'd love to see them.
Really? Would you?
Of course he would.
Wouldn't you, Walter?
Of course. Why do you think I had us trapped here?
An audience! An audience! Oh, I'll do my magic rings and my silk handkerchief production and my vanishing billiard balls.
Terrific. It's the Ed Sullivan Show.
I'll be back in 1 minute. Don't go away.
Don't go away.
Imagine staying in your room and practicing magic for 6 years.
What about us, Walter? What if the same thing happens to us?
Where do you compare? We're innocent tourists. He's a priest. I'm sure he could get out of here if he made some effort. But you know how it is with those guys. The one who suffers the most gets the promotion.
Mr. Hollander, I think we've solved your dinner problem.
What?
The chef is making you pear.
What?
Pear.
What's hair?
Rabbit.
Pardon me?
Pear is rabbit. It's the closest thing to chicken the chef could find.
Rabbit?
It's delicious.
Bunny? Rabbit?
Don't ask him. He eats what you put in front of him.
Rabbit like Peter Rabbit.
If I told you it was chicken, you wouldn't know the difference.
I will not eat my furry friends! It's like eating squirrels. Can we order Chinese? I'm sure there's some kind of restaurant in town.
I'm back!
He's back.
I can only carry these small things. But it should be enough for the first few hours of the show.
How many hours does the show last? Okay.
I want to go home.
I have dreamed of this moment for years. What miracle shall I start with?
I don't know. Can you walk on water?
My son is 12 years old. I won't see him again till he's 18.
As you can observe, I have nothing up my robes.
Isn't it wonderful, Walter? A tricky priest.
I have nothing in my cylinder, only a dove in my cage. I place the cylinder here, and I say the magic words, abracadabra, and Allah! Where's my rabbit? I have a rabbit in there.
How do you like it? Red, medium, well done?
I will not eat my dead I will not eat Just a minute. This is the United States Embassy, and I need to run it like one. Mr. Crowjack, your charges of espionage are ridiculous. They're tourists, and we will not turn them over to you. You will not wake them out. They've been here 5 days already, and they're prepared to stay 5 years if necessary. Don't threaten me, and don't threaten them. You know you're only doing this because we captured Adolf Loper, your illustrious gray fox. Hello? Hello?
Boy, they're stinkers.
Mrs. Hollander, would you please remove this ironing board?
Where should I iron? If I go in the kitchen, the chef starts to cry.
Everyone would please go to their rooms.
How long can a person keep locked up in a cloakroom? Listen, I'm worried about Walter. First he wrote a congressman, and he got back a mimeograph form letter. Then he wrote our senator, and he got back a mimeograph form letter. Then he wrote our son, and he got back a mimeograph form letter. I am okay, I am eating, I am getting plenty of rest. I will consider any suggestions you make. Your loving son, Seth.
That's because he writes him 3 letters a day. He worries about that boy too much. There's no need for your husband to send him food from Europe. Please remove that ironing board.
Hello, Walter.
Europe.
You see that look he gave me? I say hello, Walter. Hello, Grouch.
Mrs. Hollander, I really...
He should be here any minute.
Who should?
The Sultan of Bashir. Or did you forget?
I thought that was canceled.
I suggested a postponement, but you assured everyone that you would have matters settled and that business would proceed as usual.
Oh, hell. Let me think.
You know, the Sultan is a dictator and a very temperamental man. Any little ripple could hurt your father's oil deal, and I'd hate to be in your shoes if that happened.
Maybe I can still call him and delay it.
I got a telegram this morning. Sam Blackwell catered a Sweet 16 party.
I don't want to hear.
Tries to get a special price on the meats.
I'm not listening.
Doesn't buy from our regular guy, you hear? Tries to buy cheap.
I'm not interested.
4 people go home that night. What happens? They get food poisoning.
Oh my God!
They're in the hospital because he looked for bargains.
I'll bet they're suing.
Aha! Now you're interested.
Are they?
I don't want to tell you. You're not interested.
Tell me.
No, listen. You're not interested. Why should I tell you?
Tell me.
Grace, guys, I gotta clear up. Put on a happy
Walter,
face.
you know what you are. You're a sadist.
Why? A minute ago, you weren't interested.
I'm not interested.
You're not? Good. Grace, guys, I gotta clear up.
Walter, are you gonna answer me?
Are they suing? Is that what you asked? Are they suing? No, they're not suing. We're suing them for low resistance to tainted meat.
Walter!
Of course they're suing. What do you expect from poison people?
Oh my God.
If you get Sam Blackwell here right now, I'd crush his head.
Be thankful nobody died.
Yes, Marion, we're thinking of making that a slogan.
Excuse me, can someone help me out of this?
Not now with the magic tricks.
I don't know how Houdini used to get out of this.
Don't worry, Father. I think it's marvelous a man of cloth can have a hobby besides just God.
A man spends 20 years building his catering firm. He goes away and leaves his partner in charge. He begins poisoning people. I'm working with Lucretia Borgia.
Faith in the Lord, my son.
I have faith in the Lord, Father. If he can hear me now, please, crush Sam Blackwell's head.
Hello? What? Yes. No, hold it. It's New Jersey for you. Must be Sam Blackwell. Be nice. We all make mistakes.
Hello? Yes? Yes, this is he. Yes? Go ahead. Hello, Cretin. How are you, Cretin? Poison any more people? Cretin? How many? Wonderful. Keep up the good work. 2 more keeled over? They're dropping like flies. Well, what the lawyer have to say about it? Did they have a case, eh?
It's okay. It's okay. Just calm down. Just calm down.
I can't hear you. Talk louder. I can't hear you, Murray. Speak louder. Blackwell, when I get back to the States, I'm going to rent a car and run you over. You hear me? Hello? Blackwell, you're finished in the catering business. You hear me? You bit your last fruit compote.
Mr. McGee, His Majesty has arrived. I'm trying to help.
Oh my God.
Mr. McGee?
What have we got here? Lawrence of Arabia?
How do you do, Sultan?
Sultan? You know him?
Are you ignorant? It's the Sultan of Bashir.
What do you do? Hang around the UN building picking up Arabs?
I am His Royal Highness, the ruler of the people of Bashir. I'm here to see Ambassador McGee.
How do you do?
This is my wife.
Hello, may I take your name?
I'm Walter Hollander from New Jersey. Drummy, you'll have a heart attack. You're not a young man.
Excuse me, Your Majesty.
I'm here to see Ambassador McGee.
I hope you didn't have any trouble getting by all the soldiers outside. Walter and I are wanted.
I know why I read about the Sultan of Bashir recently. Didn't you fellas put down an uprising?
Huh?
Yeah, didn't you fellas have some kind of revolution or something?
Where is the ambassador?
Sure, you killed all those workers. I read about it. It wasn't nice what you did to those people. They were protesting peacefully.
There are two sides to that affair, my friend.
What kind of two sides? A few poor workers go on strike, you gotta shoot them?
If you can see them, they're vermin. There's no other way to teach them.
Walter, what are you doing talking about something you know nothing about?
What's the matter with you? I don't know politics? Don't you read the papers? This guy executes people like you use your MasterCard.
You're in a bad mood.
I did not come here to be received by a pair of dogs. Where is the ambassador?
I always read things in the papers, and I get frustrated because being a little shot from New Jersey, I never get my chance to express my opinion to a real big shot.
No one asked you.
Your Majesty, forgive us.
I will not stay here unless I receive an apology from your government.
Mr. Hollander, leave this room at once.
What's your trouble, Aladdin?
Walter, you're in a very bad mood this morning. Let's go.
I live here. I'm not going anyplace. I pay taxes. Why? Because this bum has some oil wells?
Your Majesty, please come inside.
You are an insolent swine.
I'll hit him a shot in the chops. They'll have to banish him in his own sheets.
Don't threaten me, you pig.
Walter, butt out.
I don't like the idea of my government doing business with this guy.
Mr. Hollander, that's something for the government to decide.
I am the government.
Listen to him. He's the government.
What do you think the government is? It's little people like you and me. Well, maybe not you.
I've never been insulted in such a manner.
Your Majesty, I beg your forgiveness.
That's right. Take a walk, Alibaba. That's how this country gets into trouble. Dealing with guys like him.
I did not come here to be humiliated. Relations between our countries are at an end.
Your Majesty.
And every time we bring someone into this house who's a bum like him, they get the same. Come on, Marion.
For a man who cheats on his income tax, you're certainly a big shot.
Dad? Dad, it wasn't my fault. Dad, Mr. Hollander insulted him. But Dad, you said it would look bad for the family image if you put Miss Kilroy in charge. Dad? Yes, Dad. Yes, sir. Goodbye.
I'll start right away to see if I can arrange a spy trade. Hard luck, McGee, but those are the breaks.
Hi, Axel. I brought you a drink. I thought you might need one.
Why? Why does it always happen? What do I do? I'll kill myself. That's it. I'm gonna kill myself.
Axel, what happened?
I'm a failure. I'm 30 years old and a failure. Not just a little failure, I'm a big failure. Like the World's Fair.
Have a drink.
I've been relieved of my command by Miss Kilroy, and the United States Weather Bureau has declared me a disaster area.
Your job really means a lot to you, doesn't it?
Guess it's hard to understand. It's all I've been brought up to think of.
I understand. It's hard to be the son of a famous person.
Susan, do you know when I was 10 years old and I did something wrong? My mother used to hit me with a copy of Time magazine, with my father's picture on the cover.
Axel, maybe you're just in the wrong field. Maybe in some other field you'd be a genius.
Sure, if there was such thing as the failure business, I'd have chain stores. What does your fiancé do?
He's a lawyer.
I know it's none of my business, but you don't seem wildly enthused over the prospect of getting married.
That's because I'm not getting married. I haven't told my parents yet, but I have told Donald. He's handsome and very successful, but not for me.
I see. Your father will be disappointed.
Oh, he's going to have a stroke. And compared to the kind of boys I almost married, Donald's the answer to my father's prayers.
Have you almost married often?
A few times. And always the kind that would turn my father's hair gray. A manic depressive jazz musician, a draft dodger, and a defrauded priest.
Boy, you must really hate the suburbs.
If I tie myself down for life, I want someone...
Stable and successful.
No, I want a little action.
That's what I mean. You don't want anybody too stable or too successful.
The truth is, you never know what you want. You think you want something, but then you find someone who has nothing of what you want. And for some unexplainable reason, you fall in love with them.
I know. I wrote a poem about that once.
Apollo? Actually, you're a leading creator. We're still heavily surrounded.
Yes. You want to see?
Look at
The air is so clear this time of year.
I love fall. It's the start of everything.
I like winter because I love to ski.
I've never been skiing, but I'm mad for the idea.
Maybe someday when this all gets worked out, I could take you skiing. I know you'd love it. It's very romantic. I broke my pelvis once.
It's getting late. I better go to bed now. Good night, Axel. It was fun talking with you.
Thanks for the drink. I'm sorry. Are you okay?
I better go now.
Please forgive me.
Excuse me?
I'm awfully sorry. Are you okay?
I'm okay. Good night.
Good night. I'm sorry. Damn it! Why can't I do anything right?
Son, we'll be home tonight. That's right, boy. We're being traded for a communist spy. A big spy. Oh, it's a terrific thing. You'll read about it in all the papers. Is there anything he wants to bring you? Anything from here? He wants us to take some pictures. Creighton. We'll be home later. And don't forget to thank the clients. I called Donald last night.
You called Donald? Don't you think that's Susan's business?
I feel she neglects him. Besides, I wanted to get in good with my future son-in-law.
What'd he say?
Boy wasn't home. He was in court suing some slumlord. He's a poet.
I called Bonnie Silverman and he rented the station wagon again.
Oh, good. He can drop me at work on our way home.
You're not coming home first?
Why not?
You're coming directly from Europe. To work?
It's Thursday. I always work on Thursday.
Are you crazy?
I'll help with the packing when I get home.
You haven't seen our apartment in 6 weeks.
What was there to change it?
A man hasn't seen his apartment in 6 weeks. He's going to work first?
What do you care?
If I cash in on mutual funds, will you see a psychiatrist?
All packed?
It was clever of Miss Gilbert to arrange a side stage for us, Axel.
Yes, she's very efficient. She's already set up a reception for the Sultan of Bashir next weekend, and I'm sure she'll smooth that situation over as quickly as she did this. I guess some just had that knack.
I'd still rather be you.
I'm really gonna miss you, Susan.
If you're ever in Newark.
At the rate I'm going, it could happen.
Axel, I'm sorry about the other night.
You're sorry?
It was something I wanted to happen, and when it did, I got shaken up.
I wish we could have spent more time together.
So do I. Well, at least you still have your job.
Yeah.
Can't understand you. They've been so nice to us here. How can you stick their towels in your suitcase?
It's a habit. I was a deprived child.
Are you sure it's safe to go out there?
It's all been carefully worked out. Mr. Krojak will accompany you to the plane.
Did you take your hand out of Miss Burns' office?
We came to say goodbye and wish you good luck.
Yes, it's a pity you're leaving.
Chef, if you're ever looking for a job, I think I could find you one at Chock full o' Nuts.
Well, I might as tell you now, Mr. Hollander. The bill you had last night was ill. You cleaned your plates.
Look in the vase next to the dining room table.
Bless you all, you have made my life richer. 5 of diamonds.
Right. They're all 5 of diamonds.
Mr. Krojak has arrived.
So, we meet face to face.
We don't hold a grudge.
Sure, you can't with the H-bomb.
Let's let bygones be bygones.
Criminals against the state!
Take it easy, mister. You'll live longer.
Only for Adolf Lopez, the great boss, would my government do this.
Mr. McGee, will you check and see that the Hollanders haven't left anything?
I think there's a couple of cartons upstairs.
I better make sure Walter took his passport. Wouldn't it be a scream if you had to spend the rest of your life on Ellis Island?
Mr. Joy, there's a phone call for you. It's urgent. It's Ambassador McGee's private line.
Nivoni, That's Maruja. If I could have my way, you and all those like you would hang in the public square as example to all enemies of the state.
Bro Jack, when was the last time you called up a girl and she said yes?
I have men who work with the Gestapo during the war. 1 hour at their disposal would you would tell everything.
Tell what? Who's got what to tell?
Admit it! You want to build the American spy?
Who?
Admit it!
Who?
Admit it!
What?
Admit it!
Okay, I admit it. If it makes you happy, I admit it. I'm not a caterer. I'm not from New Jersey. She's not my wife. She's a U-boat commander. You happy? You guys are supposed to be so tough. You're nothing. This was the easiest caper since the Kowalski wedding. I will kill you myself. I wouldn't try anything if I were you. We're all trained in karate. You know, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If my hands were not tied by stupid red tape, I would have my men come in here and drive you out.
It riles you, doesn't it? You like to bully people, don't you? Wait till I get back to the States and I tell the papers how we made monkeys out of you. You'll be the laughingstock of the secret police. I wouldn't be surprised if they took away your disguise kit.
You will die. I will see to it. If I must kill you with my bare hands.
Don't move or I'll blow you to pieces.
You're bluffing.
Oh yeah, big shot.
You fool. That's a finger.
It may look like a finger, but it's actually a flesh-colored 45 with 2 joints, a knuckle, and a little head.
Idiot.
Walter, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, me too. You got everything?
I had finally convinced the authorities to let me use my own methods in dealing with you. This train has cheated me out of that and has saved your lives. But one day, we shall meet again.
The deal is off.
What?
I have just received word from our intelligence. Adolf Volkert is dead.
Dead?
He has hung himself in his cell.
Dead? Adolf Volkert is dead?
He's dead, as in not alive. He's dead. Oh boy, am I in trouble.
The Grey Fox dies by his own hand. I must go back to my office immediately. So we shall meet again, and soon.
Walter, what are we gonna do?
We're not going home.
I guess not.
He was captured so long ago. He couldn't wait till the weekend. It's a holiday weekend.
See, and you wanted to rush to work. I better call Bonnie Silverman.
I'm getting drowsy.
Rousey?
I already took a Dramamine. It's a half hour before takeoff. He was captured 7 days ago. He had all this time to kill himself, and he had to pick today. And this morning yet.
It's 5 a.m. there. He did it before breakfast. See how important it is to eat? Well, we better unpack.
And I better call Seth and tell him to go ahead with his application to the foster parents' home.
What makes a man kill himself?
What do you expect from a gray fox? Is that a name for a grown-up person?
Well, you wanted to spend more time together.
McGee, do you think? Oh boy. Oh boy. Marion, come quickly. She's kissing the failure.
While you were enjoying your meal, the others have been here nearly 2 weeks now, and everyone is really starting to feel this strain. Mrs. Hollander has not been blue until she goes around all day cleaning the embassy.
I've waxed every floor in the house today twice. Even the rooms with wall-to-wall carpeting.
It is nice to be clean but a lot of floor wax is a dangerous thing.
Goddamn living room.
Susan and McGee have been feeling a different kind of strain.
I wish there was some place we could go to be alone.
Your father watches us like a hawk. Last night when he thought we were meeting in the dining room, he squatted motionless, put a throw pillow on his lap, and pretended to be a chair.
You're kidding!
No, I sat on it.
If Mr. Holder's behavior seems a little extreme, it is only because he is a man torn between a failing business, a failing future son-in-law, and a 12-year-old boy he misses very much.
Dear Seth, don't forget to dress warmly and eat slowly. Chew your food carefully and go to bed early. And stay away from women. See what happened to me?
After thinking it over carefully and weighing the pros and cons, I had a long talk with Susan and Mrs. Holder about the only way to see their home again. Escape.
Did Father Drobny speak to you about escape?
Yes, I think it's a wonderful idea.
Did you suggest it to Mrs. McGee?
Not yet. I'm waiting till the moment's right. Did you suggest it to Daddy?
I wouldn't dare. You know how he hates to take me anyplace.
Hello, McGee.
Hello, Father. I didn't want to alarm anybody, but I don't like what's happening out there. This morning there were just a few pickets in front of the building. The number's been growing and now there's dozens. And a lot of them look too old to be students to me.
Yes, some are not students, some are communist agitators.
And now just how ominous are those anti-Hollander signs they're carrying?
Mr. McGee, is there a safe place to hide the Hollanders in the event of serious rioting?
Serious rioting? What do you have in mind?
Stoning, looting, fires.
Stoning, looting, fires? My life is like the Old Testament. The only thing I've been able to avoid is locusts.
And Hollanders are enemies of the state. Project has many followers who will stop at nothing. If they choose to, they will find a way in here and get the Hollanders out.
See, Kilroy doesn't understand the danger of these things. She lacks my vast experience of getting stoned and spit at. I better call my father direct and let him know there may be trouble.
I want to speak to you.
Later, Mr. Hollander.
All of a sudden, it's goodbye successful lawyer, hello psychotic diplomat.
It's her own life, Walter. She's 23.
I'm not saying it's not her own life. I just want her to do the right things.
So?
So, what I tell her is the right thing. This guy's what we used to call in the pool room a loser.
He's a Yale graduate.
Yale makes mistakes too.
Walter, don't get involved.
This is her worst prospect yet. I like even the draft odds she was going with better than this. At least he was a success. He beat the draft. Something.
May I remind you that when I married you, your future didn't look too secure.
That's different. Where do you compare? I had a joie de vivre.
What good is security if she's not happy?
Where does happy come into this? I'm talking about marriage. When you get married, you give up all happiness. All of a sudden, Donald can't make you happy? He's an attorney. He has court cases. He'll fill out briefs. There's mortgages, litigation. It's romantic.
She always was a little lukewarm about Donald, I felt. I didn't want to say anything. Hey, what are you doing with the stove?
This is a stove?
It's a porcelain tile stove. You think Europe has central heating?
I've been mailing my letters in this.
What is that? It must be those pickets outside.
Mary, be careful. I thought there were only a few.
Walter, look what's doing out there. It's a regular demonstration. Oh my God, they have a cloth dummy that looks like you and they're burning it.
Maybe they think I'm a football coach.
Walter, this is no joking matter. They have big black ugly signs with our names on them.
Sticks and stones, they break my bones. The names will never harm me.
Walter, they have sticks and stones.
Come around the window.
What was that?
They're shooting and throwing rocks through the windows. Miss Kilmer got hit in the head with a brick and she's lying on the floor muttering something about aviation.
Don't panic. Everybody remain calm. Okay, now you can panic.
That's the riot!
McGee! 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 Come quickly. We have no usual riot.
Walter, what are we gonna do?
Try not to get shot.
Maybe if you went out there and addressed them.
I said let's go to Atlantic Beach. We'd swim, we'd play pinochle.
Is everybody all right?
Yes, are you?
What's this?
Be careful! That's a time bomb. Don't put it down. This blow this place sky high.
Don't anybody come near me!
Look, they're all running away!
Everybody out of the room, quickly.
Walter, keep calm!
I'm calm! Who's Walter?
I have had experience with these things. If I can just dismantle it before it goes off.
Dismantle, dismantle!
Axel, be careful.
My leg itches!
Wait a minute, Walter, I'll scratch it!
Everybody out of the room, quickly!
What about you?
Look out the window. You'll see me passing over the house any minute.
Come on, Susan. There's no sense in all of us getting torn limb from limb.
Thanks, Marion.
There. It's dead. I did it.
My heart. My heart sounds like a discotheque.
Who tells you to pick up strange objects?
That's how I met you.
Has anyone been hurt?
We're all right. What about everybody else?
Miss Joy got hit in the head with a brick. She must have a concussion. She thinks she's the Wright brothers.
Wright brothers? Lodge a complaint at the ministry and report this to Washington. Tell them I tried reaching my father, but he's on a yacht somewhere in the damn Caribbean.
Come quickly, Wilbur. I'm coming, Orville. I'm telling you, Wilbur, we can do it. Do what? Get those machines to fly. Orville, you're crazy. But so are you. Let's go down to Kitty Hawk Friday and put it in the air. We can do it. The both of us. But what if it doesn't work, Orville? Wilbur, we have got to try it and stop this arguing. Orville, you always were Mother's favorite.
Miss Burns, take Miss Killer to her room and get the doctor over here immediately. We may have to check her into a hospital.
You better get her twin beds.
You better give Miss Burns a hand. We may be next.
In the absence of my superiors, I have no choice but to give myself a battlefield commission. Until further notice, I'm in charge of this embassy.
How exciting.
So now if I could think of what to do, it would help.
I can.
What?
Axel, supposing my parents and I escape.
By escape, you mean what?
By escape, I mean leave here and show up in Newark.
Susan, you're nuts.
I've already spoken to Father Drobny and he says we can do it.
Father Drobny, the holy Houdini? He can't get himself out of a straitjacket. What does he know?
He knows how to get us out of the country and he says it's a cinch. Axel, there's no other way.
Susan, why don't you get some rest? And if you still feel the same way next year?
Why not? Give me one good reason.
Death? That's a good reason. If you think your father's uncomfortable here, wait till you see him in front of a firing squad.
My parents are willing. We've already discussed it.
Then your parents should be locked up. And since they are locked up, we have nothing to talk about.
Axel, I'm serious.
Gray skies are
You
gonna
have
clear.
no imagination.
I have a wonderful imagination. 10 minutes after you try and escape, I can picture Crojack wearing your father's shirt.
Why can't we escape?
I just gave you a good reason. An escape requires timing and coordination and good physical condition. Your father gets out of breath if I ask him to pass the salt.
Axel, for once in your life, take the initiative. Don't let things happen to you. That's what life is, a series of events we can go through together. That's what life is. With the two of us. You're from Young Job leading the way.
Have you been smoking the drapes?
Let's tell my parents the idea.
I thought you said they approved.
Mother does. I thought you could tell Dad.
Susan, I can't go through with this.
Mom, Dad, come quickly. Axel has something to tell you.
Susan, let's discuss this.
If we wait any longer, you don't know when another bomb is going to come through the window. You can't deny us the chance to save our lives.
I'm not good at these things. I like a nice, quiet evening at home.
We can do it. The two of us. Together.
Be realistic, Susan. How could you get out of the building?
We could dig a tunnel.
Dig a tunnel? Are you kidding? With our knowledge of engineering, we would probably come up in the stove.
Or we could sneak out the back of the laundry cart. I saw an old prison movie once.
We don't send our laundry out anymore. Your mother does it for the whole embassy. No, you'd only have a chance of, say, you were at a party. If you dressed as guests, mingled with the crowd, then left when everybody else leaves.
Axel, that's brilliant.
What is?
There's a party here for the Sultan of Bashir Friday night. We dress as guests, mingle with the crowd, and then walk right out.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Axel, it's a stroke of genius.
What's so urgent? What does the failure want to tell us?
Go ahead, Axel.
Susan.
Axel.
That was an awfully nasty bomb that came through the window earlier.
Did you notice that?
Mr. Hollander, in view of circumstances, after careful consideration, I feel our situation calls for a little action.
What kind of action?
Mr. Hollander, supposing you were actually trapped spies, what would you do?
I deny it and claim to be a caterer. What do you want from me?
You read the papers. What do families do when they're caught behind the Berlin Wall and they want freedom desperately? So desperately their lives depend on it.
What do? They go over walls or dig tunnels. They forge passports and go through roadblocks. McGee, it's been wonderful chatting with you. If you get any other hysterical notions, feel free to call me.
Mr. Hollander, it's the only way.
Escape. What an interesting idea.
McGee, you're crazy. Do you know you're crazy? Years of insanity have made you crazy.
Why not, Dad? It's better than being trapped here.
Grouch, will you listen for a
Wait, guys,
minute?
I'm gonna clear up.
Mr. Hollander, it's a matter of life or death.
You picked the wrong person to talk to about an escape. I don't escape from places. I enter and I stay.
Mr. Hollander, it's wrong to reject an idea just because it sounds radical.
That's just it. It's radical. And when it comes to things like going over walls or forging passports or going through roadblocks, I'm a terrific conservative. I'm the Ronald Reagan of the escape world.
Calm down, will you please?
Marion, have you ever seen a man with a hernia running from a tank?
You read about it every day. Couples escape husbands, escape lovers, fleeing tyranny.
What you read is couples shot escaping, husbands shot escaping, lovers killed fleeing tyranny.
You're a coward.
That's right, Mr. Anthony. If you wanted someone with courage, you should have married Sergeant York.
Do you want your daughter to grow up here for the rest of your life?
I'd rather she grew up here than as an orphan. I'm strange that way. I can tolerate anyone's orphan but my own.
You want your daughter to meet other eligible men, don't you?
All right, let's hear the plan. I haven't had a good laugh in a long time. Let me hear the plan so I can go ha-ha.
The night after tomorrow, there's going to be a reception here.
Who's catering it?
Let him finish.
A big party in the honor of the Sultan of Bashir. That night, this house will be filled with dignitaries, men and women from all nations, even from this country. You two and Susan will dress as guests. Now then, you'll wait in your rooms till midnight, and when groups of guests start to leave, you grab your coats, come downstairs, and go right out with them.
It'll give you a chance to wear your dark blue mohair.
I don't like my dark blue mohair. It itches.
How can mohair itch? It's a soft fabric.
Sue me, it itches.
Well, I'm not going to escape if you're not going to dress.
We're not going anyplace.
Once outside, we'll have the MC limousine waiting, and you're off.
And what are we supposed to do after that?
The rest is simple. My contacts will see to it you're on your way home within a few hours.
Mr. Hollander, I appeal to you. For the safety of everyone concerned, we must not procrastinate. Timing is very important.
We'll see Seth again. I miss him so. By the way, Walter, I didn't want to mention this because I knew you'd get upset, but I got a letter from my brother. Our apartment was robbed.
What?
Yeah, burglars broke in, they stole the portable TV and all your shirts.
I'm cursed. I'm a cursed caterer. I'm trapped here, and somewhere there's some burglars running around with my initials on their cuff.
Dad, let's go home.
Mr. Hollander, I beg you. McGee's plan is a good one. You can trust him. I know he seems like a bit of a bungler, but he's actually quite bright and resourceful. He knows exactly what you're doing, and you are in good hands.
All right, we'll escape.
Mr. Hollander, you have nothing to worry about. I'm in complete control.
The next few days were fraught with danger and intrigue. I made several phone calls to enlist the help of some of the brightest and most brilliant men in the underground. Unfortunately, they had all been captured. One was hung in the public square, and the other was waterboarded, and I don't talk about the third one. He wasn't a good spy. McGee worked around the clock devising a plan so complicated that only 3 people in the world understood it. And McGee was not one of them. On the morning of the day of the escape, they went over the plan to make sure it was foolproof.
Mr. Mr. Hollander, the plan is fine. I don't understand why you don't want to follow through
It's
with
a
this.
rotten plan. It won't work. Let's call it off.
We're not calling anything off.
All right, let's start from the top and go over the entire procedure again. Okay, Mr. Hollander, now who are you?
I'm John Randall from Washington, D.C. I work for the Department of Interior. I'm married. I have 4 children. I was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and went to school in California. I majored in agriculture and first entered government under Roosevelt. I drive a Chrysler Imperial. Who's going to ask me these questions anyway?
In the event that you're stopped at any point, your answers must be consistent.
But nobody's going to believe I'm Sam Randall.
John Randall.
John, Sam, I got such a headache.
What are you doing in Europe?
What am I doing in Europe? I'm making a tour of underdeveloped nations to initiate problems coping with the problem of soil conservation and erosion.
Very good.
Don't very good me.
And I'm his lovely wife, Carmen. I'm also the former Miss Wisconsin of 1938.
They believe that? We win the whole Cold War. Well, look at those varicose veins and they'll think I'm smuggling road maps.
Now then, what do you do when you leave here?
At about midnight, when the guests start to leave, we casually say, "Excuse me," and leave with the largest group. Our chauffeur will then drive us directly to the lobby of the Grand Hotel.
Provided we haven't been stopped at the gate, identified, arrested, shot, beaten, and tortured.
At the Grand Hotel, we switch cars. A man will come up to me and say, "Those are extremely lovely earrings. My wife has a pair just like them." He will be our driver, and we go with him.
Correct.
What happens if some stranger just happens to like my wife's earrings? We'll wind up following him to Lapland.
What happens when he brings you to the railroad station?
When he brings us to the railroad station, a man will come up to me, presumably not suspicious looking, and say the words, "The grass is green," which, for my money, he might as well be wearing a neon sign saying, "I am a spy."
And what do you do?
We get on the train with him heading to Istanbul. Istanbul, another first in my life. I in Istanbul like the plague, with my fear of Turks.
But you don't get to Istanbul.
Halfway there, we jump off the train.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to that. It's been so long since I've jumped off a moving train.
Your contact will assist you with all these maneuvers.
What are you so worried about?
We'll see how well you jump. Practically break your leg looking for a seat in the movies.
When we jump off the train, we're met by a man dragging a wagon load of hay.
Correct.
We dress as peasants, get on the wagon, and go with him.
Hay. It has to be hay. I had the worst hay fever in America. It has to be hay.
He then drives us directly to the seashore, where we're picked up by a submarine. Isn't it thrilling, Walter?
Submarine? Yesterday was a plane.
It had to be changed. Security precautions.
Thanks for telling me. I would have spent all day looking for wings.
Now then, here's some local currency.
No thanks. I got money. You get the next one.
Take it, Walter. You only have traveler's checks.
They're good anywhere.
You're gonna stop in the middle of a chase through an alley to start signing traveler's checks?
What do you mean, chase through an alley? I thought you said this was going to be simple. I can't run. I'm an old man with orthopedic shoes.
I suggest you take this money. Incidentally, have you ever shot a pistol?
Shot a pistol? How often in the catering business is there a gunfight?
It's very simple. It can't fire unless this safety catch was released. Then just squeeze the trigger.
It's a beauty.
I don't want you to carry a gun.
Why not?
They're dangerous!
They're not dangerous.
When have you ever used a gun?
Plenty of times. Don't worry.
When?
I want to carry it.
I'm not going to escape if you're going to carry a gun.
Maybe Mrs. Hollander has a point. I'm being overcautious. There won't be any use for it.
Why do you have to take the fun out of everything we do?
All right, you can carry a gun, but keep it unloaded.
You'd always have the time to load it, but you won't need it. I have every angle figured.
You can never tell when this little piece of tin can spell the difference.
So this is it.
Don't worry, it'll be a cinch.
You got very confident all of a sudden.
Everybody makes a big deal out of nothing.
You think so?
Sure, it'll be over in 2 hours. It won't be any worse an ordeal than your sister's wedding.
You think so?
You're crying? She's crying already.
I'm sorry.
Why do you have to go and get upset every time we make plans? That's why I never want to take you places, and that's why I wasn't too keen on escaping, because I knew you'd turn it into a federal case. What's the matter?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? How can you not know what you're crying about? Does something hurt you?
I'm afraid.
Aha! Not such a big shot anymore. You talk a good game. Stop crying. Everything's going to be all right. Come on. It'll be simple as pie. There's nothing to worry about. What's the worst that can happen? We get caught? Big deal. They try and torture us? So what? We bite down on the cyanide capsules? Stop crying. Will you leave everything to me? Will you do that? Will you trust me? I'll make sure I can handle this. I'll take care of us. Don't worry. Do you think I'm gonna let anyone hurt you? You remember when we were first married and that soldier whistled at you at Palisades Amusement Park and I gave him a sock in the mouth?
Yeah, he was a tiny little thing.
You were so beautiful in your puce Aztec shawl.
And you, with your dark blue dress suit and the white socks and the saddle shoes.
That was doctor's orders. I had a foot infection.
Walter, will you protect me?
Have I ever let you down? Ever? Did I stand by you right from the start when my mother despised you? Did I hold your hand through 2 pregnancies, 4 false alarms, and 1 very overcomplicated oral prophylaxis? Now come on, have a little faith in me. I'll make sure that we come out right side up.
Walter, I've been such a terrible wife.
Not at all. I'm not easy to live with. You may be amazed, but some women will find me unpleasant.
No.
Yeah. Now, you go upstairs and start getting ready. And just come on down.
I'm wearing my new dress.
You better bring a pair of sneakers.
Wally.
You haven't called me Wally since the Harvest Moon Ball. And even then, I said if you ever did again, I'd break your neck.
I'm going.
I'm going to stay down here and read my paper. And don't worry, you're dealing with a man who can handle himself.
Mr. Hollander.
There you are, you man. Well, why don't you go inside and join the party? Would be a guest of honor?
Mr. McGee, there's nothing better to cement wounded pride better than bourbon.
Yes, there's plenty of bourbon inside.
Where is the American from New Jersey?
He couldn't come, but he sent his apologies in this way. I'm delighted he presented me about the offer to take the army. You know how my father feels about you.
Where is your father?
He couldn't come. He's late with me. He'll probably come after I take the
Now, Father. Don't take anyone.
I'm not in the mood for magic.
There is a message written on the fool's face.
Tell me the message, Father. No one will hear.
The Hollanders are ready.
That was the message. Where are your parents?
They're coming. My father's having trouble getting his holster on.
The house is crawling with trouble. Bojack is here. If I try to keep anyone away, it would look suspicious. You better act fast. The coast is clear.
I'll see you in a few days.
We have some future plans to discuss.
Walter, you haven't hugged and kissed me like that in 25 years.
That was you? What are we gonna do?
Try and be casual.
I am very casual.
You know, Walter, you can tell you're carrying a gun.
Get out of here. You cannot.
There's a big bulge underneath your shoulder.
It's the way I'm built.
It's not the way you're built. You don't have a handle.
Leave me alone.
Put it upstairs.
We need it.
We don't need it. You shot Miss Kilroy today.
It went off accidentally.
Walter, people are staring at your bulge.
Great guys, I can actually erupt. Put on a happy face. Brush off the clouds.
We have not met yet, have we?
I'm John Riddle from Washington, D.C. I work for the government here. I'm here. California. I make an article for President of the government and control the world. I'm Democrat here. I'm John Randall.
And I'm his lovely wife, Carmen.
How do you do? Countess Wilhelmina Bordoni, and this is Lord Cathcart.
John.
Say hello to the Countess, darling.
Hello, darling.
This wine is extraordinary. Have you tasted it?
Exquisite.
Yes, rather different and ephemeral. Wouldn't you say, Mr. Randall?
The bouquet is subtly demure, and yet the flavor is playfully articulate. Esquire magazine.
How long have you been here?
2 weeks.
Just a few days.
A few days.
2 weeks. We're staying at the big hotel.
The Grand Hotel.
I don't care for it.
It's beautiful. Well, we really must be going. Come on, Walter.
Walter.
How amusing. My own wife forgets I'm Sam Randall.
Sam?
John Randall.
Walter John Sam. My real name is Randall John Sam. But people watch me getting it confused with Lyndon Johnson, John Sam Johnson. I kept getting all of his meat bills and phone messages.
How interesting.
Now, if you'll excuse us, where'd you in Tunisia?
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan, Tunisia. Come on, Marion.
Marion.
I'm his lovely wife, Carmen.
Allow me. My cigarette lighter.
May I have a light?
Zippos never work.
No matter. Well, we must be going. The party's about over, and I hate to be the last to leave.
Lucky those Zippos never work.
Come on, Marion.
So, my friends, we meet again.
What'd you do? Roll a drunk and steal his invitation?
You're all dressed up. Are you going somewhere?
A Krojack! Telephone for you! Urgent! You can take it in my room. It's quiet up there. Hurry! They're holding.
I will deal with you later.
Go, 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 go.
Where are they?
They've gone. Once past the police at the front gate, the rest is not hard.
If we don't hear anything in the next 2 minutes, we can assume they've made it.
By now they're going down the front steps. Now they're getting to the gate. Slowly, deliberately.
Now they're up to the gate. They're all going through together. The police have no reason to stop them. I wonder if this is happening in any other embassy.
What is that?
Oh, Axel! It's terrible!
Walter, how could you?
It was dark. I couldn't see anything.
How could you do it? How could you attempt an escape?
Dad, the situation called for something bold. If it had worked, we'd all be heroes.
But it failed, as everything you do fails. Picketing, riots, bombs, None of this has ever happened in my embassy before. And this morning, a devout priest pulled a 7 of spades from my ear.
Father Drobny was trying to cheer you up, sir.
I'll get you for this, Axel. I'll find a way, I promise.
Excuse me?
I'm finished with him, Miss Hollander. By the way, your mother called. She wants you to mail her your birth certificate. Through 2 world wars without a scratch, only to be shot by a caterer.
Axel, I'm sorry. It's all our fault.
No, it's not. But they doubled the guard outside.
Well, McGee, it was a nice try, but unfortunately, I shot the boss. But I guess those are the breaks.
I guess we're here for good now.
I got you into this, and I promise I'll get you out.
Well, I feel ready, willing, and able to try anything. Now that I've actually drawn blood. True, it was your father's, but...
What was that?
It's the Sultan of Bashir and his wife, and they're unconscious.
Serves them right. They drank up enough alcohol last night to rub down the Green Bay Packers.
I better call Bonnie Silverman. He's probably still at Motuck Point with the station wagon waiting for us to surface.
Miss Burns, the Sultan and his wife have had a little too much party. You better put them to bed. If you have any trouble moving the Sultan, there's a dolly downstairs. And find them some pajamas. Pajamas. Pajamas? Pajamas!
McGee, why are you staring at me and repeating the word pajamas?
I bet it'll work.
Axel, what are you thinking?
Father Drobny, come down here, quickly.
McGee, if there's something going through that head of yours, besides the usual cattle stampede, you want to tell us.
Size is about right.
Axel, I know what you're thinking, but there's 2 of them and 3 of us.
Nobody saw them leave last night, so if they leave now, it'll look perfectly natural. Except underneath those robes will not be His Royal Majesty at all, but the Phantom Caterer.
It sounds great! It won't work, but it sounds great.
It's just crazy enough to work.
You two change quickly. Miss Burns, please assist them.
What about me?
I'll come to you.
Are you sure you know what you're doing?
Susan, for the first time since this whole thing started, I feel in complete control. This is going to work.
Axel, this is so exciting. You're actually having an idea.
Yes, Father, are your contacts still ready to go on a moment's notice?
Yes, I'm sure.
Then alert them quickly. Susan, every now and then fate comes along, takes a man by the hand, and enables him to build a mountain.
Oh, Axel. Oh, Gordy.
I'm going to get you all home safely, right now.
The storm we were expecting will be a little late. I suspect the same precautions are in order.
Susan, have I told you lately that I love you?
No. But if you want to, I think we can work something out.
Ready to go?
It's no dishes.
How can it itch? It's silk.
I've explained to you 1,000 times about my skin. My dermatologist says I have the thighs of a princess.
Everything is ready. Go immediately. God bless you.
Try and be as confident and as casual as you can be. And if anyone tries to talk to you, mutter something about Allah.
The driver will bring you to the Grand Hotel. From there, our plan is precisely the same.
What about Susan?
She's going to walk out with me in a little while under the full protection of diplomatic immunity.
How?
As the wife of a foreign diplomat, you get that privilege.
Oh, Axel.
My Susan, a bride! Oh, this is the happiest day of my life!
What?
I only wish your father were alive to see it!
I'm right here.
Sorry, I got carried away.
This is so exciting.
Wife, you and her.
Why not? We're United States citizens in United States territory. We're both over 21, and Father Drobny's a priest. It's perfect.
What if she doesn't want to marry you?
I do. I do.
You do? May Allah twist your nose off.
We've got to act fast.
While we're aboard the submarine, you wire us to Silverware Pattern.
May all the sands of the desert fill your navel.
I'll see you aboard in a few days.
Hurry, please.
Come on, Marion. We better go and Register his name at the unemployment insurance office.
On the way home, we'll stop at the drugstore and send you a bottle of those pills.
Mr. Hollander, remember, sir, you're not losing a daughter. You're gaining a son.
May all the camels in Egypt. Forget it.
Incidentally, the Hollanders made it safely to Newark. I married Susan M. McGee. And Ambassador McGee is still running for governor without the Sultan's help. And, just to make sure nothing happens, he sent McGee 5,000 miles away to Bolivia, where, for the first time in 200 years, they had a plague of locusts. Pick a card. Go ahead, pick a card.